Party's not a party's a man who fights crime, and we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time with John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Attention, citizens of fair Gotham. Welcome once again to Bat Minute of the Phantasm, the show that's realised this season that everything can change and still feel the same. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
And here by the Xerox machine, it's me, Niall McGann.
I don't even know what to say about that. That was amazing. Jesus Christ. I love how I know why you've said that as well. It's just like, there's very little else in this minute. But to help us get through, to see us, out of the trenches, across no man's land, and into the trenches of the Bosch with our shotguns is none other than returning guest, the Bosch killer. It's Alyson Grimm.
Hi.
I'm speaking like I'm from 1916. 1916 English person. Yes, excellent. But yes, thank you for offering your services to us here, because credits are tough at the best of times, and this is an especially tough one. Minute 75.
Because of the song?
Yeah, there's a lot of Korean names.
Yeah.
The minute starts actually with these Korean kings, and it ends with "How I Feel About You."
Aww.
Oh, it's so sincere this season, John. You're usually a cold, callous kind of person.
Well, I like to flip-flop, I am a person of multitudes. I have many facets to me. I'm a bit like
an onion.
An onion. I was gonna say I'm a bit like the Godhead, but there you go. I'm an onion.
In a way, the Godhead is a bit like an onion.
Yeah, very
Layers.
much so.
Yeah. But
you make really, really good soup.
And
God's head soup. Yeah.
I'm gonna make that
now. Shall we jump on into to the lyrics of I Never Even Told You, because we never even told you about them last minute. We kept dodging around them, but
let's do it.
Because that was kind of half my point, because I was talking about last minute. They're like, the caliber of people here is working on this song is great, because Tia Carrere, great singer. I've been weirded out that that other lady we're talking about, Shia, what's her name? Shira Garrett? Was that it?
I've got a Cedar Garrett.
Cedar Garrett.
Yeah.
Shira Garrett. Her name was Shira, and her brother He-Man Garrett.
Yeah, because every song just goes.
And I would have no problem with that.
But yeah. So I was a bit surprised that she didn't sing it. It's a bit of a weird one to be like. And that she didn't sing the song herself because she duetted with Michael Jackson. You think you're like, oh, go off that. And then the fact they got Tia Carrere in, who's an actress, and she doesn't voice Andrea Beaumont or anything. She's as unrelated to the movie, beyond just singing this song. It's just weird to me. It's we got a very famous actress who's been in a massive film, 2 massive films, because both Wayne's World's out at this point, and True Lies is filming. And yet they're just we got Dana Delaney in to do the main female character. It struck me as very odd, but yeah. So it's good caliber of people working on it. Co-writer, Jagged Little Pill, all that. Tia Carrere, great voice. Did a great version of in Wayne's World. Of course, she does a couple of songs in that, Ballroom Blitz and stuff, which a cool song. Just Touch Me by Private Life, to cover that, which I love that song. And yet, the song isn't really good. And even the lyrics, though, to look at them by themselves and in the context of the film, these lyrics are really good, and they're actually very, very sad.
Well, I think maybe me reading the lyrics has then made me like the song, though, because when I first heard it, I was like, "What the hell is this?" But throughout this week, getting me notes and stuff ready, I've changed opinion. I like it. I don't know. But even though I like it, it still should not be in this film. With that sound.
No, it doesn't. The sound doesn't fit.
No.
It should have been, as you said, Alison, they should have written it more in the style of like an old 1940s kind of thing. Like these lyrics on more of like a sort of a haunting old like soft jazz song or something would have been terrific. But
even if you wanted a contemporary, like modern at the time sort of ballad or something, fine. It's just the production on this completely dates it. It's when they made this.
So yeah.
It's just
so 93.
Whatever, like, and usually have nothing but love for saxophones off Batman. And since and the Schumacher era when we had the coming on every couple of seconds, and like I love the saxophone in Poison Ivy's theme, all the cheesy crap that Elliot Goldendahl was throwing at us, and yet the saxophone in this song is like, this is terrible, man. It just sounds so 92, like very specifically. And then even you see the cover of the album. Because I believe this was written for the film, and then Tia Carrera released an album called Dreams. And if you look at the album cover, it's like it looks like an old like the front cover of a issue of the Sandman from back in the early 90s. It has that style of writing and stuff on it. It's like, oh, it actually looks kind of cool, but again, you'd know exactly when it's from. But I'm pretty sure it's written for the film because you can just take these lyrics as coming from Andrea Beaumont, and they make perfect sense.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, because you go through there was never any question, any lover's indiscretion in my eyes, and my quiet desperation wasn't any indication that my life suddenly could change and never be the same. Now I feel so ashamed. It's all about her getting torn away from Bruce. And then coming back, rampage of revenge, and she's feeling ashamed because she dumped him, and now she's doing this, that, and stuff.
The only bit that doesn't fit like completely is the next bit where it's I never even told you. I thought you knew. I never even said a word how I feel about you. It's like, well, in the movie, they're very clear how they feel about each other.
Well, I actually think that's one of the saddest parts, because I think this is very specifically, this is her like singing almost like she's singing this on the boat as she's away.
Yes, yeah.
Because her saying like, I never even told you, I thought you knew, I never said a word about how I feel about you, is like when she hooked back up with Bruce, they shagged one night,
Yeah, they had their little dalliance and then went back to it. Yeah.
And then everything happened, and she just left him the necklace, and she never even told him how she felt about him. She never was able to go to him like, it was never anything personal. It was always just like things happened, and I never told you what happened with me and my father. I never told you how I felt about you when I got back. Everything was
true.
crazy, So it's I think it works. Yeah, I thought that was like one of the saddest parts of the song.
You've swayed me. I like. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, now I'm upset.
The line though, I never even told you, I thought you knew. I did kind of chuckle a little bit though, because it's just so you can apply it to like, I thought you knew. What do you want? So you never even told me. I assumed that you knew already. Like, what the hell?
You should never assume.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, they'll make an ass of you and me.
Yes.
But sometimes in relationships you do.
You do.
So it's a very sad song. Yeah.
I've done it, and it's stupid. Don't do it. That's my advice. Younger listeners especially, don't do it. Don't assume.
But then you have to see these little things that could just be easily applied to Andrea. Like, but my silent desperation couldn't change my situation. Could be her stranded away from Bruce, or just the fact that she's on this rampage of revenge, or the fact that she's had to leave him again. She's desperate to be back, but she can't change it. Things are like, he's Batman. He would never be able to be with her, and she can't. She's locked in to like friggin' kill the revenge of killing people and stuff. So. And it doesn't seem strange how everything can change and still feel the same. Like, everything has changed between them, but yet the feelings remain and stuff.
Yeah. It's relatable lyrics. Which, see, you're coming around now as well.
I still think this. I would never listen to the song because I think it sounds terrible. But it's just like the actual lyrics. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's got good bones. It's written by great people. It's sung by a great singer. It's got the lyrics are perfect for what the situation of the movie is, and yet it's somehow
it's still bad. Yeah.
I want to do a cover of it then. You know when like a cock rock band would do a random love ballad? There's always one they would put on an album, a moving, slower one. I want a cock rock cover of this in that.
You want every rose has its thorn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you going to have to beep cock rock?
No.
I don't know.
I
feel like you shouldn't.
I would say it's in reference to cockroach. There you go.
Yeah. Well, it's a genre.
Yeah.
So
it's music for insects. There you go.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. Or cockerels. Cockerel Rock. My debut single.
Yeah. Now Elton's out of the way, you're taking over. Like, forget about the crocodile rock.
It's the crocodile
rock.
Hell yeah. People have often called me the new Elton.
They're talking about Ben Elton now.
Well, I mean, yeah.
To be fair, though, that's actually as much of a compliment than Elton John. So
I used to love Ben Elton. I mean, was it last episode we briefly mentioned Blackadder? He worked on that.
Yeah. But to get back to the the minute and the song, I do have some random facts about one Tia Carrera.
Okay, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, as she was born, Althea Ray Dulcineo Gennaro.
Oh, whoa, okay.
Yeah, nothing like Tia Carrera in that name, but apparently she got it by her sister nicknamed her Tia, and then the Carrera is in reference and tribute to the actress Barbara Carrera.
Oh.
So it's almost a bit like a kind of like Michael Keaton, naming himself after Buster Keaton or Diane Keaton, depending on which article you read. Barbara Carrera played the character Fatima Bush in Never Say Never Again. So if you're wondering if that name is a double entendre, it's in a James Bond movie. It's definitely a double entendre.
Sorry, I was just laughing at Fat Bush.
That's what they're doing. That's what are we going to name this?
Right.
Pussy Galore. Oh, that's taken. Fat Bush. There you go.
Pussy Galore was the most blatant one of those.
Yeah.
A lot of vagina.
Yes, that's the best.
Ivana Hump a lot. Yeah. The Austin Powers, as a spoof, that was borderline what it was. Like, it was barely any need to spoof it. It was like, it's there already. Fat Bush, for Christ's sake. Come on. Barbara also starred in, which I thought was quite notable. She was in a TV series in the 70s called Centennial, which also starred Michael Ansara, who was the voice of Mr. Freeze in Batman animated series.
Everything's connected. I've done one of them in a few episodes.
Yeah, and also, because we brought up Centennial last year, because it was also the first screen appearance of one George Clooney.
Yes.
So there you go. It was always weird that it was like, I was amazed at that. Like, George Clooney's first on-screen role was opposite a guy who played Mr. Freeze. Like, what? And you tell people, and they're just like, what are you doing with your life, man?
That's exciting. That's great news.
And then she was also in Condor Man, which is a weird movie. I remember my parents putting on for me when I was a kid, thinking, "Oh, you'll like this. You like superheroes, right?" And it's actually about like a cartoonist who ends up like intercepting the KGB, and I just didn't really get it. But it stars Michael Crawford. Of course, you know Alyson.
Yes.
Being the Michael Crawford of Phantom of the Opera fame. So,
the one true Phantom.
The one true Phantom. Still Frank Spencer, and some others do have him to me. But, I understand to a large section of the community, he is the Phantom.
He's not my Phantom. We all know who mine is.
Gerard Butler?
Yes.
Little line Delilah.
But no, I'm the same as you, Niall. Obviously, same age, roughly.
Yeah.
He's Frank Spencer.
Yeah. But Tia, she was born in Honolulu. Obviously, she's very, she is Hawaiian. That's why, Lilo and Stitch. That's one of her big roles as well.
Well, that's why I thought her name was Tia Carrera. It's like, that sounds Hawaiian, I guess.
Yeah. But and then she like always wanted to be a singer, and then she was spotted in a Waikiki grocery store and cast in a movie. like one of those things. She's just like, to be fair, she is stunningly gorgeous. So it's
but wouldn't you be suspicious? Some guy comes up and goes, "Hey girl, you want to be in a movie? You're so hot." It's like,
I mean, yeah.
But like back in 1984, it's probably like, yeah, of course we'll do that. Their parents are probably like, of course you're going to do it. Jesus Christ. Can't throw away an opportunity like that. But yes, the movie was Aloha Summer. Directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, who did like the It miniseries and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Halloween 3, also Tommy Lee Wallace joined.
I am a big defender of that.
Yes, I love Halloween 3.
yeah.
Well, tis almost the season as well. So
Yeah, I can't wait for you. You're going to do posts about it, Niall. You're going to be doing the Silver Shamrock.
I keep thinking I want us to do another commentary, and I kind of want to do like one of the Halloween sequels as a commentary. And
that would be great.
And also, like Halloween 3 seems like it's unconnected. We could just do like Halloween 5 or something and have fun. But at least Halloween 3 is like, well, it's a self-contained story. You can do a commentary for that.
If we do Halloween 1, then we have to do the whole lot.
Right. But if you do a random one-off.
Yeah.
But then, from Aloha Summer, she went on to star in bits of Airwolf.
Yes!
And,
oh my god, yes.
The A-Team, Lone Wolf McQuaid,
I wanted to do an Airwolf podcast once as well.
Just to talk about the theme tune.
Every
time.
Although my number one, other than Baywatch Nights, was Thunder in Paradise with Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would be like a nice short season. It wouldn't be too long.
Let's say it's up there with Manimal. In terms of like, hey, you're in, and you're out. It didn't last that long, so... and then she apparently went on to some acclaim. She was in General Hospital for like a couple of years, but never got General Hospital over here. But I know that is a big thing for certain people.
Is it just like a soap in a hospital?
Yeah.
So what would our equivalent be? Like Casualty?
Casualty, Holby City.
Yeah. Isn't Holby City a spin-off of Casualty?
It is, yes, yeah. Or it was. I think it's over now because my dad keeps telling me about it because he loves Holby City and he's gutted that it got cancelled.
Jesus. I mean, I haven't watched any of these. The last time I watched them was when I lived with my parents because, of course, they were watching it because they're old people.
My dad's afternoons is just like, yep, friggin' Doctors on BBC One in the afternoon and Jag, repeats of Jag.
Oh, yeah.
But then she also played Richard Lewis's adopted daughter. I was amazed to find out this. In a sitcom, Richard Lewis, from Curb Your Enthusiasm, etc.
Yep.
He made a sitcom in the early 90s called Anything But Love, co-starring Jamie Lee Curtis.
What?
I was like, movie star Jamie Lee Curtis. Because, nowadays, big stars doing TV is like, well, that's the thing, because TV's...
Whatever, yeah.
It's come so far.
It was not a thing. There was not crossover between movie and TV stars.
Yeah, that's... Like, Jamie Lee Curtis being in a sitcom in the early 90s was like, well, was she okay? Like, what happened? Why was she doing a sitcom? Like,
did she need the money for, like, medical bills or something?
Yeah. But it was weird then because Tia Carrere played Richard Lewis's adopted daughter in that. And then, of course, she cameoed in episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm as Richard Lewis's girlfriend.
That's weird.
Which is just a bit like,
okay.
That's up there with like, you ever see The Squid and the Whale? The movie with Jeff Daniels and it was the guy, what do you call him? The not Wes Anderson guy, Noah Baumbach.
Not Wes Anderson guy.
Like not Wes Anderson, not Greta Gerwig, but
Oh, 100%. But yeah,
he's the male Greta Gerwig.
Yeah. But yeah, he made The Squid and the Whale. And it's got Jeff Daniels, and his character has sex with Anna Paquin in it. And it's like, he played her dad in Fly Away Home. Like, this is really messed up that you're making me watch.
That's weird.
It's like, I kind of judge Jeff Daniels for like not stepping in and going like, I'm not doing that. That's really weird that you want me to do it.
Bro, that's your daughter.
And that was like when she was like 11. It's like, now she's 25. It's like, it's weird, man. I'm not doing it. Like, you should have said something. But yeah, so, and then, she does have a couple of good bits in Curb. I remember her one big scene was, there's a bit where Larry can't hear out of his right ear. There's something, he's been told like not to put a phone to his right ear because, it'll damage his hearing even more. And then he has problems holding the phone in his left hand because he doesn't feel comfortable with it. And so Tia Carrere is like in the middle of a workout and she takes a call from Larry. And then they're talking about going to dinner. And then he kind of keeps shifting the phone around so he doesn't hear everything she's saying. And then he just goes like, oh, what are you wearing? And then she's like, sorry, what am I wearing? What, right now? Yeah, what are you wearing? And then he starts going like, and she's just like, Larry, you're making me very uncomfortable. And thinking that he's like, he's having phone sex.
Initiating phone sex.
That's almost, exactly what every man ever asks someone who, when they want to be dirty online. What are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
And of course, it's just a plot point that you forget about until at one point Larry's walking down the stairs and Richard Lewis is just glaring at him from the bottom of the stairs going, "You sick fucking pervo. What the f*** were you doing with my girlfriend?" And of course, that classic Kerb thing where they just roar at each other for 5 minutes and then go like, "Okay, so we're going to dinner, right?"
In my mind, I was thinking of Seinfeld, though. Like, what are you wearing? Like, the panties my mother laid out for me.
But yeah. Then it's some other. We'll have Tia material for next week too, because she's with us right till the very end now. But she of course was in I think we mentioned earlier, High School High, which was directed by Hart Bochner, the voice of Arthur Reeves. Relic Hunter, of course, classic. True Lies, NCIS LA with one Chris O'Donnell. She appeared in. And apparently she was also in an episode of Tales from the Crypt. Which was, I will go on record, my favorite outro to do this year. I did an outro as the Crypt Keeper. Put a lot of effort into it, and then I got a positive feedback from somebody on Twitter. So I was like,
hey!
Hell yeah.
But she's in an episode of Tales from the Crypt called On a Dead Man's Chest, about a rock star who gets a tattoo by accident of his guitar player's girlfriend, played by Tia Carrera, and he hates her. And then the tattoo comes to life or something.
Does it start talking to him and influencing him?
Yeah. I think he ends up killing her and trying to get the tattoo removed. But it was notable because it was directed by William Friedkin.
Oh.
Friggin' The French Connection. And, the big thing is the band the guy's in is called Exorcist. And of course, William Friedkin directed The Exorcist. So.
I was wondering why you didn't say Exorcist first, I'll be honest.
Same, yeah.
And then
because I was like, wait, you mean the Exorcist guy? And then you didn't say him first, and then I second guessed myself when I Googled him to make sure. So thank you for that.
But recently deceased William Friedkin as well. He probably saw the trailer for that new Exorcist and was like, "Oh Christ!" and then just keeled over.
Yeah. All right, I'm out.
Yeah. It does look awful. It might come out, it might be amazing, but it looks like hot garbage juice. It looks absolutely insanely awful.
Yeah, I'll watch it, but I'm not excited.
Well, I've still got my Odeon Unlimited card, so I'm like, I'll probably go see it in the cinema, but I won't be happy about it.
Well, you might as well.
I'll see it when it's streaming somewhere.
Did you have more Tia Carrera or anything? Oh, we moved on from that already.
Yeah,
no more Tia Carrera trivia.
I think I'm just fixated on Tia Carrera. I can't get her out my life.
8-year-old me was as well.
Yeah,
Should we all just take a break and just look up pictures of Tia Carrera?
Yeah. Please put in just music that you'd get in a lift, an elevator kind of soundtrack.
All right.
One of the first things that comes up, I was quite...
Ooh, all right.
The rest of it is going to be me and John talking and Alyson going, ooh, in the background.
Yeah. Okay. The hell was that?
Oh yeah. Jesus Christ, this has gone off the rails. One of the first things that came up that I was quite I was confused by was it said in between animation. And I thought, is it a company or something? So I looked it up. And I didn't realize, but in betweening, also known as tweening, which sounds...
what have you been looking up, John? What the hell are you?
What? I'm curious.
It sounds either like a sex act or something to do with taking drugs. But no, in-betweening or tweening, it's a process in animation that involves creating the intermediate frames called in-betweens between two keyframes.
Yeah.
So it gives the illusion of movement, which, when it put it this way, I thought it was wild, right? Because I didn't realize this, that a team specifically makes the keyframes, and then someone else fills in the gaps. That's nuts.
Yeah, that never occurred to me.
They never even told you, Alyson.
Yeah.
Shut up.
To me, that's even more baffling than sending it off to Korea to animate. It's like, no, it's different teams. What are the keyframes? The start of a bit.
I guess it's just if you've got someone facing on, and then if they have to turn their head, you'll have when their head is turned is another keyframe, but the motion of moving the head to the side will be like the in between.
Just let the other team do it. It'll take 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was also the thing too. That's why they had Dong Yang and Spectrum, is because I think Spectrum was like, oh, they do like the rain and the mist and stuff.
Jesus.
They don't do any of the fun stuff. You know, we have to sit there like some poor asshole has to go like, yeah, I'm on shot 1,000 of raindrops. Yeah,
Oh God,
it's hell. This is not what I got into art for. But.
No, I mean, correct me, if you know otherwise, listeners, my impression from reading all of this stuff is this must be the most awful job in the world.
I think you always got the dream, like, no, someday I'm going to be like a Bruce Timm.
You know what? I'm saying it sounds awful. And I'm sure it's not a dream job doing those kind of things, but you know what? I spend my days working with spreadsheets. So
it's a wash.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, somebody has to do it. You know, someone has to keep the trains running, et cetera, et cetera. You know, so
exactly. So there's a lot worse things they could be doing with their life.
Yeah. Although I do like there's an in between check as well.
Oh yeah, someone goes over it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of different animation departments, and then below it'll be like one guy is like animation check. It's like some guy has to come in and be like, "What are you dickheads up to today? What the hell is this?"
Or he looks and says, "Oh, okay, fine, it's okay, I suppose."
And again, it's all from that Little Mermaid penis getting on the poster. I'm telling you, they're coming in, going, "All right, we're checking everything." God damn it.
Why? Right, you alluded to this before. Why is there a Xerox team?
Well, actually, I do have some information on the whole thing about Xerox.
Because that's a genuine question. That's not like me just setting something up.
So I thought like this must be a different company, or it must be something. It must be, or it can't just be like this is like the copy boy. They go down
a
like
different company. How many Xeroxes are there?
Well, you know, it's in Korea, so I was like, well, maybe they have a different Xerox. I don't know, but no. Apparently, Xerox has been quite involved in animation since around World War II, or just like in the. Oh, actually, I've got a whole statement here written about it. They first came on the scene with 101 Dalmatians because they were just like the photocopying company. They started that before World War II, and it says by the 1950s, a commercial version was available for business, but it was focused on paper, not film. Ub Iwerks, the co-creator of Mickey Mouse, was impressed enough by what he saw to work with Xerox to adapt the technology for film, and the final process allowed animator drawings to be printed directly onto cells. This accomplished two things. One, it freed Disney from the need to hand ink each and every animated cell, the process which significantly raised the costs of Alice in Wonderland and Sleeping Beauty. And Sleeping Beauty was a massive flop for Disney. People don't remember that now, but it was like it lost them a lot of money. And it meant that instead of having to hand draw 99 little Dalmatian puppies, Disney could, for all intents and purposes, just photocopy them. And so apparently if you look at the Blu-ray of 101 Dalmatians, it actually looks awful because you can just tell that they've just composited like the same shots of the dogs over and over and over. Apparently one scene you can clearly see there's about 150 dogs and they're all the same dog. Like it's and then apparently this was a practice they kept up until The Little Mermaid, and then it's a notable thing that like Disney had a period there like the 70s and 80s where they were in the gutter, basically. Like, that's why they call it the Disney Renaissance when The Little Mermaid comes out, because it revamps
for sure.
the whole brand.
Oh, the 90s belonged to Disney as well, though. They really came back strong.
Yeah. So apparently, Walt himself felt it was a step back to earlier, cruder animation techniques and disliked the Xeroxing. But if less artistic xenography was also considerably cheaper, saving Disney millions in production costs. The process was so successful that Disney almost completely abandoned the process of handing cells using Xeroxgraphy for almost all of their features from The Sword and the Stone up until The Little Mermaid. And then the process was again replaced for The Rescuers Down Under.
Xeroxgraphy.
Xeroxgraphy, yeah.
Xeroxgraphy.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
But I guess it's basically, it's just a thing of like, it's, if you need for like background extras and stuff, you can just like, through Xerox, the company. They go,
that makes sense.
They go and they just photocopy the same things over onto the film for you. But of course, now that's the big malignant thing that, amongst the many problems with AI, there was talk of like, we're going to hire extras for one day, scan their image, then we own that image, and then we can just use them indefinitely without having to pay them ever again.
Yeah.
Which is
That
just, you know,
deeply messed up.
yeah, that's just actively like, oh, so this is like, you're not even trying to hide that you're just evil. You're using this for, these people are going to go out of work, and like, you're just destroying the industry. That's what you're doing.
Paying people.
Yeah. So it's insane. That's absolutely insane. At least if you're going to do that, you can be like, play them a residual. But the whole thing about the strikes is all about residuals.
The whole thing is to avoid paying. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even if you're going to, a one-off payment. Fine, I'll do it. $5 million.
Yeah. It's no, absolutely nuts. But I think that's kind of like the modern day equivalent of Xeroxgraphy. But back then when they're doing it, I'm pretty sure the animators were just like, thank God, because like they were the guys having to painstakingly like color in each one of these freaking things every time, and
which would, as we were joking about before, be absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
But yeah, so that's that's what the Xerox department is there for.
It's literally Xerox. That's mad.
But then as we move on down the credits, we get past the Korean portion. We do get back into some good old fashioned America.
I just want to say too, on a note about making fun of names, if a name that I go by happens to mean or to sound like something meaning penis or dick in a foreign language, I want them to make fun of it constantly. I think if a name or like anything, any word you hear in any language, if it sounds like a euphemism for genitalia, it's funny.
And you should probably let the people know as well, just in case you want to change it.
Oh my God! Oh, for sure.
There was a guy in the last minute, because you talked about Steve Butts, and we were like, Butts, and there was a guy called Young Bum as well. I was like, but I don't want to make fun of that though. It'll be like I've been racist, but it's the same exact thing, really, isn't it?
Well, it's a tough one. Like, because I didn't want to make fun of any of the foreign names either. There's lots of Korean names. So actually, listeners, if any of our listeners know, right, if you speak Korean or you know Koreans or anything, which of these names are funny to Koreans? Like we're laughing at Steve Butts.
Yeah.
What do they think is funny? I would love to hear that. Yeah.
Because I'm sure some of these names are silly to Korean people.
For sure.
You know, Alyson, because you're currently rewatching Buffy. Isn't there a guy who's like part of the music department called like Thomas Wanker on Buffy? I remember that credit coming up like every time. I've been like,
just laughing at it. Yeah.
This is because every time I was just like, no, you can't. Like, why wouldn't you change your name? But
I've just looked it up. Yeah, what the?
It's a great name.
I've chosen to believe that he's built like a brick shit house, and he's just like Thomas Wanker, and I just kind of expects you to say something.
He's like, fucking try me. Yeah,
I thought so. And just walks away.
He sees you get a little smile on your face, and he's like, "What's so funny?"
Yeah. If you're just really trying to get like, why so serious? You want to know how I got this name?
Thomas Wanker. Oh my God.
My mother thought it'd be funny to marry a guy called Wanker. That's how it happened.
No, I'm sorry. If that's your name, change your name. I don't care if it ends your line.
Or really own it. Like I would, if that was my name, I would lean so hard into it.
I think it could be like, was it an Office Space? The guy, Michael Bolton. And I was like, why wouldn't you change it to like Mike or something? I was like, well, why should I change my name? It's him who sucks.
Exactly.
I think with this,
make it your brand.
With this as well, though, because of the way my brain works, I'm thinking like, well, Thomas, like John Thomas, that's a slang word for a penis.
Yeah.
In like the olden days. So, and then put with wanker.
Like the guy who lived next door to my dad when I was growing up was called John Hone. The Irish surname, John Hone. And hone in Irish means like ass.
Yeah,
like it means, but like pug my hone is kiss my ass. And so then in fact his name is John, which is like the John for a toilet, and hone. I was like, in my mind,
That's
I'm like,
objectively hilarious.
Yeah. But my dad just like, he doesn't get that humor. He's just like, oh, come on, grow up, Like,
you'll probably have to edit this out because I'm going to swear. But Niall, it's a bit like you were saying the other day, ass.
Yeah. That's the I don't know if you watch Reservation Dogs, Alyson.
We started it and then forgot about it, so I've seen a little bit of it. I know.
It's incredible. It's a great show, but yeah, they had that insult in it, ass. I just know, I keep saying it, but I was talking to John the other day going like, I don't know if it's like a Native American insult or if it's just very specific to like the guy like who writes the episodes or something.
Wait, what's the Shitass, Shitass. Okay, so I used to be really active on the comment section of the website Jezebel, if you remember that. It was a subsite of Gawker.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time like Jezebel wrote something about the actor Scott Baio, and his wife got super mad about it, I think on Twitter, and she called the Jezebel commentators lesbian shit asses. So at least, I don't know if it's specifically Native American, but at least Scott Baio's wife is a proponent of shit-ass.
I just keep thinking it's not just the Native American characters who say it, though. Like, Ethan Hawke was in an episode, and he was calling people shit-ass. I'm like, I think that these people might just think that, like, oh, that's just a word. That's what everybody uses, right? It's like, no, I've never heard it outside this show.
I started using it because of that incident, because it's hilarious. And it is a great insult.
It's amazing. I'm bringing it to England.
It makes me think of Peep Show, because there's an episode where someone calls Mark like a your dick penis or something. And he's like, well, it's like calling someone a piss kidney. Like, what's the point of that? But yeah, the shit ass is like it's the English equivalent to me is piss kidney. Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes. I mean, I've got a note about Spectrum, but did you have something else you said?
No, I was gonna go. I was gonna get back to America over here. With so got something on Spectrum by all means.
Yeah. I made I didn't realize. I forgot I made these notes. I made a few notes
about.
You
never even told me, John.
It turns out actually, no, Spectrum are good, right? So the
Hot
Japanese
take. Spectrum good.
Actually.
Basically. They on the commentary track for Heart of Ice, on the Batman the Animated Series DVD, Bruce Timm states, I quite liked this, that Spectrum were responsible, this is what they did, for airbrushing Mr. Freeze's helmet in every frame that featured him.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And such attention to detail ultimately drove the studio to bankruptcy. They spent too much time and money and effort making things so good. But now most of the staff members are in another company called Production IG. So they all found work. But, it's all right. Yeah. But and they also did the cutscenes in Tekken 3.
Oh.
Yes. Great game. Then again, I grew up with Tekken 2. I didn't get into Tekken 3 till I was a bit later on.
I think Tekken 2 is the only of the Tekken franchise I've ever played.
Oh, well, let me tell you, the newer Tekken 7, masterpiece. Yeah. Love it.
I remember too not realizing it had a proper continuity, because I remember at the start they show you that guy climbing up a mountain.
Oh, Heihachi, yeah.
As if he's back, and I was like, where did he go? I don't know what the context of this is.
He dies at the end of Tekken 1.
Yeah, I guess so, but apparently he didn't.
I'll be honest though, I never played Tekken 1. Tekken 2 was my first Tekken, because I got my PlayStation for Christmas that year, I think, and I got Tekken 2 and Die Hard Trilogy. They were my two games.
Very nice. I've got some notes here because when we get in, again back to the USA. We've got some credits here. A person called Bunny Munns.
Oh, I love that one. Mwah.
Oh, that's a great name.
Bunny Munns sounds like a porn star.
Well,
it really does.
Tragically, apparently, Bunny Munns passed away quite recently.
Now I feel bad.
Died in 2021, but she was married to a guy who also worked in animation called Eric Simones. I guess she didn't take his name. She's like, Bunny Munns, I'm not getting rid of this. Come on. But I did note that apparently Eric worked on Stripperella.
I love Stripperella.
Yeah, the Stan Lee created Pamela Anderson animated superhero show.
Right, we're doing a special episode on Stripperella because it has one of my favorite. I remember this to this day. I was watching it when it was debuting. And I'm going to make this sound so unfunny, but to this day, I think about it once a week. Because her boss, if you remember, who was in charge of the agency, he would always find out some terrible news. And he would always come up with something like, I found this out right now. Thank God I'm not doing such and such. And he will be. So he found out some bad news about the case. And he's like, oh, thank God I'm not performing a bris. And he was in the middle of performing a bris. It's like, what? What the hell?
Well, if people don't know, the pitch of the show is basically Pamela. The tagline was "Stripper by night, secret agent by late night."
By late night.
She was a stripper who was also a secret agent or like a superhero. Basically, she wore a little domino mask and all that kind of stuff.
That's Batman in After Dark right there. We're going to cover Stripperella.
Yeah, apparently it also, I was looking at the cast, it had Vince McMahon as Dirk McMahon.
What? I don't remember this.
Yeah, Vince McMahon apparently appeared in several episodes.
Whoa,
So
I probably knew at the time and I've forgotten what.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, seeing his moustache these days.
Oh, that mustache. Like, I'm not a big wrestling guy, but when I saw those pictures, I was like, ooh, who's that? People are like, that's Vince.
He's a villain and he knows it.
Yeah.
Today, as of recording, Eric Bischoff was saying, oh, he looks great these days. What are you looking at?
I mean, he's in his Latin lover era, I guess, you know.
Vincenzo.
Vincenzo Barracuda McMahon. But Bunny Munz, she did it was one of those weird ones where, like, I was looking at her last project was in '98, and it was a thing called Toonsylvania. Yeah. And I was like, I don't remember. And then I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, I used to watch this. Like, it was from all the Animaniacs people, and it was like, yeah, the main character was Igor, played by Wayne Knight. And
I've just looked it up. Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, Brad Garrett was like Frankenstein's monster, and David Warner, Ra's al Ghul himself, he was Dr. Frankenstein and stuff in it. And it was just like, yeah, wacky kind of things. Where like, one episode, Igor creates like a zombie baby and stuff like that, you know, by because he's always trying to prove that he's better than Frankenstein. And it's like, I remember just looking at it and you watching clips, and it's like, oh, that's all you can tell. It's all the same people who did the music for Animaniacs, and it's the same kind of animation. It's like, I guess it just didn't take off. Like, it was a thing of like, no, this was definitely in my life at some point.
It looks like the American version of Duckula.
Yeah. But it must have kind of like...
I just looked it up, and yeah, I totally recognize it too.
I guess it must have been like the diminishing returns of these guys. It was like, oh, Tiny Toons did great. Animaniacs was like a phenomenon. And then like Freakazoid did okay. 2 seasons, 24 episodes. And then, like, Toonsylvania is like, yeah, even if you watch it, you don't remember that you watch it until you see a picture of it.
But it's the height of everybody becoming, like, weird alt kids. 98 to 2000. They've missed that's their audience right there.
I don't know, man. I don't know what happened, how this failed. But Toonsylvania, maybe it needs... Wayne Knight, still going. Yeah. David Warner, tragically passed, but... Brad Garrett still working on friggin' everything all the time. So.
David Warner, also from Titanic.
Of course, yeah. But another thing that she worked on, of course, was Freakazoid. And then, as we mentioned there, Audrey Wolfman's one of her favorite shows, the Rubik's Cube cartoon.
Yeah.
And she also worked on Chuck Norris Karate Commandos.
Oh my God, yes.
Which I was surprised. There's only ever 5 episodes of Chuck Norris Karate Commandos.
That's another one of those. I think I saw those 5 episodes 100 times and didn't realize.
Yeah. I went down a little rabbit hole, but apparently the reason Chuck Norris Karate Commandos, they had a whole merchandising thing, and it came out at the height of Chuck Norris fame. And there was a whole big to-do about it. And, like, the reason it got cancelled was because he was having, like, Chuck Norris himself had said, like, I was talking to one of the executives, and she was like, yeah, it's too violent. And he's like, but there's, like, a Rambo cartoon, and there's no more violent than any of that. And she's like, yeah, but you're a real person.
What? Come on.
John Rambo is not a real person. RoboCop's not a real person. But you are in reality. You should, like, Chuck Norris would show up in like little sections in live action to be like, it's me, Chuck Norris, talking about what's happening. And they're like, yeah, so kids will be like, they'll confuse them. They'll think you're the actual guy going out and doing this.
Kids aren't that dumb.
Well, that's what the reason he gives for the cancellation. And I love that in the IMDb, their one bit of trivia is that the name Chuck Norris is said 9 times in the intro alone. And I looked it up and it's like, it's noticeable. They just keep saying Chuck Norris over and over again.
Chuck Norris, yeah.
It's just at one point it's just like Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is Chuck Norris in Chuck Norris Karate Commandos, which is another one as well. Like the double K is like you're close, man. Don't do it.
Pretty close.
Don't do it.
The crusty comedy classic.
Yeah. They changed it to Chuck with a K, but then it'd be Cock Norris. So you probably wouldn't want that.
Oh my God. I dare you to call him Cook Norris.
See, I was going to say, like, I would name the episode that, but then he might find out. So I was like, I'm not risking it. Well, but, and yeah, then there's another guy I looked into, Robin Kane, Try to verify if he was any relation to, of course, Bob Kane. Couldn't at all. But, and Kane's a very, a very normal name.
Yeah.
But I noticed that he apparently he did work in xerography. Xerography?
What?
He was a Xerox guy for a lot of things, apparently.
I thought you said Xeroxgraphy.
Xerox.
Is that what you said before?
Xeroxgraphy is a... I was going to try to sing the lyrics to that. Oh, no, forget it. It's gone. Although the thing is, they said he's the Xeroxgraphy guy on The Little Mermaid. I was like, well, I thought The Little Mermaid's whole thing was that they got rid of that. So I guess he didn't do much. Maybe he worked on it. But his big thing that stuck out to me is something that we have brought up before, but I just, it is a cultural oddity that I love to celebrate. Toxic Crusaders.
Oh, yeah. That's in the zeitgeist at the moment, Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, Toxie's back, baby. He's turned into Peter Dinklage now, but he's back.
And the early review I read wasn't good.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, with a trauma movie, it's kind of like...
That's not surprising.
Yeah, but a trauma movie, too, is like, well, what way was it not good? Like,
yeah, they seemed to understand trauma, and they didn't like it. But it's one opinion from a festival, so... It
was a thing that I had a kind of gut reaction of, like, oh, it has a budget and a recognizable star.
There's a few stars.
Yeah, that's not Toxic Avenger. If it has anything, if the budget is over $1,000, then that's not the Toxic Avenger.
Just let John Waters do it.
John Waters doing Toxic Avenger would be amazing. Yeah, 100%. And then I would excuse, like, yeah, by all means, get in friggin', Aubrey Plaza as Toxic Avenger or something. But I know the big one, it kind of gave me a little bit of pause, was like Elijah Wood's in it.
Yeah.
Because he's notable. I think he's saying he's based his performance on Danny DeVito's Penguin.
And he looks like him.
He looks way like him. But Elijah Wood is in this state of his career where he's just like, because he's made all the money in the world, he's just got Lord of the Rings residuals coming out of his ass so much.
Oh, so now he can just do whatever he wants.
He's dedicated his life to, like, I can't remember the name of the company he started, but it's like so-called like Psycho Spectrum or something. And it's all bat crazy, horrible horror movies.
Like, he just does weird stuff, doesn't he?
He just loves weird splatterfest movies. And he's just into, like, and all the weird occult stuff. Like, he did a great, he used to do a podcast where there was just him and his friend going around interviewing, like, that guy who made The Island of Dr. Moreau that we reviewed. Richard Stanley. He's a great interview with Elijah Wood, where they're just talking about, like, how his mother was cured from blindness by meteor rocks and all this kind of stuff. And, we call it Anna Lily Amapour, the lady who did A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Oh, such a good movie.
That was great.
She's on there talking about her haunted house and stuff. It's like,
cool.
Guillermo del Toro was on there. It's like, I think they only did like 6 episodes. So I was like, this is the best podcast I've fucking heard. And they're like, oh, it's gone now. We ran out of weirdo celebrities who would want to be in it. But the fact that Elijah Wood was in it.
Normies left.
The presence of Elijah Wood did make me go like, well, maybe there's got something to it. But also, it's like, yes, no, I think like it looks too big budget for Toxic Avenger.
It does. It's but again, by the time you hear this, there might be more reviews out that are the opposite. This is just one opinion.
And they also did try to like take Toxie mainstream before with Toxic Crusaders. Did you ever watch
which is wild. Who watched Toxic Avenger and went, kids cartoon?
Is it? I think because their entire toy line came from the same people who made the Turtles toys, and I guess they were like, mutant ooze.
Close enough.
It just turns people into weird things that we can make toys of. There you go.
That movie is insanely violent. It's too violent for me.
Oh no! All of them are just like Jesus. But are you a big Toxic Avenger fan, Alyson? Because it strikes me as something up your road.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid, actually. I remember really liking it because I liked weird stuff.
I actually think I would like the cartoon more because I like the concept, but it was too gory. Like, you see someone's head get run over by a car, and I was just like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, see, that's great. I like movies when it's that level of gore, when it's just funny. Like, it's so over the top, I just laugh at it.
That's the entire appeal. It's just like seeing, it's like that bit in Deadly Friend, the Wes Craven movie, with like Kirsty Swanson gets turned into a robot or whatever, and she throws the basketball at the Mama Fratelli's head, and her head just explodes. And every time I just piss myself laughing because it's like
right.
So it's
like when Jason punches the guy's head off.
Yeah, that's
that's
what I'm here
amazing.
For some reason,
that's what I signed up for.
For some reason, that's fine. I think I don't know, maybe because that seems like a video game to me. Just it's like Mortal Kombat, you uppercut the head off, you know. But crushing a head, that's like, oh no.
But anyway, Toxic Crusaders was one of Robin Kane's babies. I remember that as a I think we might have brought this up, but I remember finding out that the theme tune was written by Chuck Lorre of Two and a Half Men fame, like the guy, the mega TV producer Chuck Lorre, who also wrote the theme tune for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I'm like, how is this information only getting to me now? Like, that's classic party icebreaker stuff. I'm like, the friggin' Big Bang Theory guy wrote the Turtles theme. Come on.
That is nuts.
Yeah, and that's exactly the type of thing I'd say to people at parties, and they're like, what are you doing, man? Why are you telling me this? I can't use that information.
This is why we're so popular at parties.
But that's all I got for Robin Kane. And then the credits the credits keep on rolling.
They're all the notes I've taken for the credits, really, because I just had more about the lyrics. But I think we kind of ended up going over all the lyrics, about the silent desperation. Did we talk about that bit?
Yeah. We did the silent desperation. Yeah, we've all seen it.
Yeah. So that's it. Because everyone else. Nobody really stood out. I don't mean that in a nasty way, like, their careers were terrible. I just, we have to pick
don't know any of them.
It's not like, going through, like, the Star Wars prequels and seeing David Fincher's name. Or it was Return of the Jedi David Fincher worked on. You're like, what? The David Fincher was on Star Wars. Like, yeah, he's in there. And then I remember one time in Star Wars Minute where they're like, they mentioned, this guy, Roger Christian, I think he did some stuff. And I was like, he directed Battlefield Earth, guys! Freaking spent about 20 minutes talking about that.
Battlefield Earth Minute.
Of course, Battlefield Earth Minute. Although then you might draw some unwanted attention as well. So, if anyone's going to be petty enough to, if you're saying anything against the Lord and Creator of Battlefield Earth, there you could find some well-dressed people right at your door at any given second. So.
Who's the creator of Battlefield Earth?
One L. Ron Hubbard was the creator of Battlefield Earth.
Yeah,
so.
It's one of his books.
Speaking of all the animation we've been speaking of, Allison, this year we are asking the guests what their other favorite animated, shows and movies and stuff beyond Batman were back in the day.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned this to you earlier, I love to, as the kids say, stan a toxic relationship. And one of my favorite toxic fictional relationships is from the Beetlejuice cartoon.
Yes.
It's just the whole relationship of like
just the entire relationship with Beetlejuice as her like really creepy, much older boyfriend.
Yeah. And you're just like, did they see the movie? Or what happened?
It is baffling when you actually watch the cartoon and think, it feels like they just got the cliff notes.
Yeah, it does feel
very
like,
much so.
Feels like they could have we could have tweaked this to be like we could just call it something else and it not be Beetlejuice. But I think they just want, we got this IP, like we have to call it. Like,
we might as well. Yeah.
And he looks great. Like the animation on him is really cool.
The animation, I really like the animation style. Yeah. That was a very formative influence.
Oh, no, totally. There's even some the ways Beetlejuice's eyes are drawn, like not his eyeballs, but around. Like they do a weird kind of crescent up to his.
Yeah.
That's actually, if you look at a lot of my drawings, it's the same eyes are there. Because I was just looking at that cartoon when I was a kid.
Is that where you get it from?
Yeah, I've seen some amazing cosplayers too doing specifically animated Lydia with the red spider dress.
Yeah.
They've just got
that's what I would want to do if I ever did. Yeah.
They got they themselves have the huge eyes and stuff to pull it off. So I do remember it was another show. I loved it every time I saw it, but then it was just like Irish TV schedules were like, it's on Tuesdays at 4. Oh wait, no, now it's on Thursdays at 1. That kind of thing. So you just had to try to. You're a kid, you have no control. But I am aware that they did a Christmas special. We do always do a Christmas episode every year, John. So maybe
there you go.
Maybe we could try to track down the Beetlejuice animated Christmas.
I'm up for it. I am up for it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
The thing about Beetlejuice is that he's a little hot, right? Well, is it just me?
I think I was trying to get there because you're like, Alex Brightman didn't do it for me, but like Michael Keaton's Beetlejuice, he's got a sleazy charm there.
No, Alex Brightman kind of did it for me. No, I mean, he's one of those guys who I would say like sometimes Chris will ask me if like a certain wrestler is attractive, and I'll say no, he's not attractive, but I would him. Beetlejuice is like that. Like he's not attractive, but I bet he really well.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah.
That was one of the questions because we always usually had our like, what was who was
Sorry, which character do you think would the best?
In Batman, of course, yeah.
Look, you invited me on. You have to expect all the censoring you're gonna have to do.
Well, we always did have like back in season 1 we had like was Jack Nicholson the sexy guy, and forever it was Chris O'Donnell. And then I tried to
Chris
get going.
O'Donnell. No, Chris O'Donnell's too attractive. He's so attractive, he's not attractive. Do you know what I mean? Like he's too handsome.
Oh no, yeah, he's very bland. As well as my problem. That's why I didn't get why people were so into him. It's like he's just sort of like he's just a white guy. Like there's nothing to cling on to.
That's
except
all
that
it
earring.
took back in the day now.
Yeah, but I was trying to get going this season too about like, well, which cartoon character would you? And I think a lot of the few guests we asked always seemed a bit baffled by it. So, and then of course I asked the frequent guests, Lauren, and she was just like, she had a list of just like, and I was like, freaking like Jake Morgendorfer. I was like, Daria's dad, and she's just like, yeah.
Like, I can see it. I can see it now. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, Freakazoid was on the list.
Freakazoid. I mean,
he's a freak.
Oh yeah. Come on.
Now I'm gonna do this Freakazoid rewatch. And the whole time I'm gonna be thinking
just think about me.
Like, he's got a tight red outfit on. He's got cool hair. I'm seeing it. I'm getting it. Yeah.
Tell me about the buns.
He has a sense of humor.
Yeah. But was there any other toxic relationships from your childhood cartoons you remember saying, Alyson?
Captain Planet. I was really into Captain Planet.
Oh yeah, good choice.
It's Ted Turner's classic. Captain Planet.
Ted Turner.
Yeah. That was Captain Planet. Was his whole brainchild. Like he was just
like
he was
from
just really
WCW.
Yeah.
What?
I think it was a weird, like that had like Meg Ryan was a villain in it, Jeff Goldblum was a villain. It was like it had like he had cachet.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna get all these superstars.
So he could get big names. Yeah.
And so at the end of every that was also the weird thing of like as a kid seeing like Mark Hamill as the Joker, been like, no, it can't be the same guy. You want to get Luke Skywalker to play the Joker. And then at the end of Captain Planet, been like, Jeff Goldblum was that guy? The Jurassic Park Jeff Goldblum was that guy. You're telling me that? Like, what is he doing in Captain Planet? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me.
You know what? You get all these people these days complaining about climate activists. Oh, they're woke and all this. You didn't have any of this in my day. We had Captain Planet.
He
was saying the same
what
stuff.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. And you know what? I'm actually surprised in the current climate they haven't brought it back. Bring back Captain
Seriously?
Planet.
Oh my God. And
have guest stars. Have like Greta Thunberg.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think you just know then it'll be like you'd get just the
oh my God. They can be like what was the dude from Power Rangers, like Zoran? Like they can have a guy kind of like that, but it can be voiced by Al Gore.
Yes, yeah, there you go. It'd be great.
Oh no, I know they've always talked about Captain Planet as a movie and stuff, and they did that. Don Cheadle did that like spoof, but it does feel like it's a well-known property. Why aren't you bringing it back? And the whole thing about it too was like the cast was like purposefully very diverse. They had a kid from like every country and stuff in it.
Yeah,
it was like
even what a couple of the white kids, like the one girl was Russian.
People would complain that that's woke now as well. And it's like,
right.
Well, not only is it a good thing, diversity, but it literally fits the plot. They're uniting the world. That's the point.
But just that would be the whole thing. Oh, so Captain Planet's gone woke. Like, how can it get more woke? But yeah, I mean, I'm noted out for minute 75, so ready to head on into the next credits minutes next week.
You guys took notes?
Yes, we will head off into the dark night once more. Alyson, would you like to promote anything or tell people where they can shout at you or whatever you want?
Come back to me.
We can't come back to you. You're the only one here. I know you were on Titanic Talkline recently.
There you go, promote
I was on
friends.
Titanic Talkline. Yeah,
Yeah.
listen. Well, you should listen to Titanic Talkline anyway because it's great.
Yeah. And
There we go.
And she also has another show.
I'm going to be on Damsels Who Discuss at some point, talking about The Lion King 1.5.
Yeah.
I think I'm booked in to talk about the Jungle Book 2.
Ooh.
So we'll see how long it is between episodes, because I think
I got Nathan Lane, so even though it kind of sucked as a movie, Nathan Lane was in it. So
I don't even know who's in the Jungle Book 2. I doubt there's any of the original cast.
No, of course not. Absolutely won't be. Come and speak to us. Facebook, The Bat-Minute Listeners Cave. Twitter, Bat-Minute. Instagram and Threads, The Bat-Minute. I made us a blue sky.
I was just going to offer if you guys wanted an invite next time I get one.
Well, when you get one, send one my way, because we've got lots of accounts.
I mean, that's true. You have many podcasts.
Yeah. We haven't posted on it, but if you use Blue Sky and would rather message us that way, feel free, because I'll get the notification. So it's an option, you know. Same with Threads. Don't really post on it, but it's there.
Yeah.
So it won't be missed. I haven't given Niall the passwords yet because I'm stupid, but I can pass them on to Niall. And check out our network, Sleepy Charlie Media, on Patreon, because now you can get the cut content on there. We've had to move it to the Patreon because we would have had to pay an insane fee to keep posting it on the regular feed, unfortunately. But it's now on Patreon, and it's only $1 a month, and you get all the cut stuff. Or for $2 a month, you get the cut stuff and the bonus episodes.
Yeah,
so you get loads. It's hundreds.
You should have a special tier where you get the episodes with the swears.
We're considering doing that next season.
Really?
Yeah. We're considering, like, the Patreon people might get the full unedited, so that includes the swears, that includes everything.
I mean,
that's the Bat-Minute After Dark tier.
Yeah, like we did do an episode a couple of weeks back. That was like an hour and 40 minutes long, and I mentioned it to again the guy I was talking about, Austin Pryor, and he had COVID that weekend. And I jokingly said, like, I'll send you the whole uncut thing. And he was just like, yeah, I want to hear that. so then I was thinking, like, yeah, there might be people who want just literally slap on the intro and the outro. And there you go. I'll listen to the whole thing. So, yeah.
If you would like that, listeners, let us know. Because it's something we are considering. And we wouldn't, like, add another tier. We'd probably put it in at the $2 or the $3 tier. We wouldn't create some imaginary $45. You know? I mean, there is a $50 tier. There's all kinds of things. Have a look. But for $2, you get all of the audio content, which you might want. So do that and join us again for minute 76 of Bat-Minute of the Phantasm.
Next time, holy penultimate podcast, Batman. On the eve of ending an animated adventure with our Avenger in Lycra tights, the time has come to give this season its second-to-last rites. As we shut down our seance with the Phantasm and slip into a hiatus for our Bat School, are there any final facts to fling out about Gotham's grim ghoul? Prep your Ouija boards for more Ghost Gabbin' Batmites. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.
Must have top,